Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program may contain adult content and is intended for mature audiences only.
Radioactive is sponsored by CrookedRiverRadio.com. Crooked River Radio is an internet radio station that is live 24/7 playing rock and adult contemporary top 40 hits from the 60s through the 90s. You can find us on Live 365, Simple Radio, Roku, Radio Garden, and even Alexa, as well as our website. Come on and join us on the Crooked River.
The story you are about to see is true. However, the names were changed to protect the imbeciles.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Welcome to Radioactive. Join us as we look at technology and life in the world around us, and have a little fun with it too. I'm Pat Morrow, and
this is Jon Brown.
I'm Erik Nanarrone.
I'm Flora Morrow.
And
I'm Dale Miracle, and this is Radioactive.
Well, the 15th time's the charm. If I didn't lock up, I hope. What the fuck?
No, you're not locked up.
Yes, it is. It's not moving.
What isn't moving?
I
see Erik moving.
All right. All right, that's the 15th
no, it's
time
just
in
an
a row.
illusion, Flora.
Okay.
It's your imagination. We're locked up.
Yeah.
Somebody ought to lock me up. Throw away the damn key. Of course, that'd be too easy. They'd rather just have me irritated. Right, Irk?
Yes. Yes.
Looks like we got a full house here tonight. About damn time. And of course, Justine and Melanie are off camera.
I'm right here.
Oh,
I'm doing my hair.
Okay, cool.
I'm right here. I'm eating.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm going to be eating here pretty soon, I hope. We got
I don't want me.
Giannino's
In
for
everybody's
dinner.
face.
What's that? Do what, Melanie?
Said I didn't want to be smacking in everybody's face.
Oh, that's how that works. Yeah, it's been quite a day around here. I've had technical issues out the wazoo. Got a meeting done about 6 o'clock. Now here we are. I've been up and at it since 9. What fun, what fun. Got a lot to talk about tonight, even though we're starting a little bit late. Sorry about that. We got quite a bit to do. I've got, as far as on the agenda, we have there's a comedian or a guy that's a movie star by the name of James Hong. And he's 92. He's a 93-year-old actor that just got himself a star in the Hall of Fame in Hollywood. I got a clip on that. We got the Rolls-Royce of refrigerators. $9,000 is what these things start at. We got George Jetson's birthday. And then we got 2 sad notes. We got Tony Dow from Leave It to Beaver passed away this last week. I've got a clip on him. And I also have one on, I just heard tonight that Nichelle Nichols, the one that played Lieutenant Uhura on the Star Trek, passed away. I got a clip for, I think there's about 7 minutes of clip on her. All in all, it should be a pretty good show. Got to keep everybody entertained and rolling here. So how's y'all's week been? Y'all's?
Well, you forgot one thing, Pat.
What's that?
You forgot to announce the new Facebook group you started yesterday.
What Facebook group, Eric?
It is called The Hit List Songs You Love to Hear.
And no,
Sorry,
Ellie, if you're listening, no, this isn't wine that you hear pouring. Unfortunately, I'm on antibiotics.
This was wine, though.
I'm doing antibiotics this week for my foot. So, unfortunately, there is none for me.
Did somebody say wine?
Huh?
Did somebody say wine?
Yeah, quit your whining. So anyway, that's...
I had a busy week.
Yeah, I know. And Melanie, I got a bone to pick with you. Melanie, I got a bone to pick with you. Where's my damn Willie video?
My phone is stupid.
I got a couple.
It said, I freaking started going live. You know, I took 2 songs of the other one. And then it was saying that when I started trying to get Willie, oh, your connection is messed up. Unstable connection.
I would have rebooted the phone.
I'm like, seriously?
And I was sitting there already. I was grooving to the ZZ Top stuff he was playing. And then I thought, all right, she's going to play some Willie. And I waited, and I waited. And I kept checking my Facebook and waited. And I checked some more, and I waited. Finally, about 11:30, I gave up.
I'm sorry.
By 11:30.
Yeah, we were at home by then.
I figured as much. Finally, I gave up.
It was a good concert. The ZZ Top was much better than Willie.
Oh?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah. He only sang for what? Hour maybe?
Maybe an hour, yeah.
Yeah, he's getting old.
ZZ Top did like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
They were
some
up
of the
there for a
songs.
while.
Some of the songs that they did, I enjoyed those. But,
Yeah, it was a good concert. Yeah.
You know what? I'm up there on. No wonder I got so many people in here. Forgot to do something.
You forgot to turn yourself off.
Had to leave my own meeting. Now, I'm smelling this damn chicken. I gotta eat here in a minute. So we'll talk a little bit here, and then I'll start munching in you guys' ear. But yeah, I enjoyed what you guys put on the old FB for that.
Yeah, Melanie did all that. I didn't. I was too jacked up.
Yeah, I figured that too.
I was going to post the picture, but I didn't. But Justine
I fell asleep.
Justine fell asleep in the chair.
She fell asleep.
Freaking Vincent was knocked out on the ground for like 2 hours.
2 hours.
At that concert, they were both sleeping?
Yeah.
What had happened was.
Yeah, right. What had happened was.
Well, Vincent had an excuse, a legit excuse. He had been up from 4:30 the day before till 4:30.
That's not a legitimate excuse. He could have went to sleep.
Everybody say hi, Ellie.
Hi, Ellie. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Even a dog said hi.
That's right. Anyway, let's talk for a little bit here, another 5 minutes or so.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Then we'll get into stuff. What stuff we got to get into? Who am I going to pick on now? I already picked on Melanie. Justine, Erik is Erik.
What? I'm not worthy of being picked on?
Oh,
yeah, I was going to say.
You want me to pick on you? Oh, cool.
Why not?
I can do it.
That's all right.
You just chop liver.
I know.
I know one thing I could pick on, just right off the top of my head. Boy, would I ever get a dirty look. You ready? You want to give me a dirty look?
No, let's not.
Sure. Sure. Oh, no, don't.
How's your...
No.
Yeah, okay.
How's my hangover?
Not really. I don't think you want to hear.
It's gone now.
We talked about it the last time I talked to you. Hey, vroom vroom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, I told you I'd get a dirty look. Look at that.
Look at this dirty look.
That opinion is truly Justine's own opinion, and it doesn't reflect anything on this station or any other of the other individuals that are on this show.
You can really get that out.
If it conflicts with your viewpoints, there you go.
Alrighty.
Dale, you look bored. What's up?
How was your week, Dale?
Well, I almost had to have my spine relocated after having to suffer across Interstate 20 through Louisiana, Mississippi. Alabama's not too bad, but other than that, it was all right. I went to deliver. I think I was on my way to Georgia last time, and I delivered just south of Atlanta. And then drove like 3 hours towards Augusta, pick up a load to. It was to get another driver home, so I met that driver. And where did we go? I think it was someplace in right there on the border of Mississippi and Alabama, or Mississippi and Louisiana. And I got his trailer, and it delivers here just north of me in Rock Hill, South Carolina. So I've been taking a tour of the Southeast for a change.
Yeah, you've been in rare moods, I've seen.
Huh?
You've been in rare
You've
moods.
been in a rare mood.
Oh.
With all the Uranus.
I just do what the, yeah, I just do what the voices tell me. Well, I was just going through my news feed on my phone, and that headline that link I sent to you, and it's like, I just sent it because of all the quotes that they had in there about Uranus.
Yeah, it's been interesting to say the least.
I searched for a couple different terms, and I sent you those screenshots. I thought that was pretty funny. You know, I have to amuse myself.
I said to Patrick, I said, he must have nothing to do right now. I said
I was bored because to get the load that I had picked up, it was halfway between Macon and Savannah. I was doing some paperwork while we were talking. It was in Stillmore, Georgia, is where I picked up at. And it went to New Mexico, and the driver lived near El Paso. So that was a load to get him home. And the load that he picked up out of Nogales, Arizona, that's going to Rock Hill here. Now, you have to remember, this was Friday afternoon. Like, I think it was like 3 o'clock Central Time. And where was I at? I have it written down here. I was in Vicksburg, Mississippi. That's where it was. And it delivers tomorrow at 9 a.m. And I was 670 miles away, which...
That's about a day's drive, isn't it?
About a day's drive. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do it in a day's drive because of my hours, but I would have been able to make it here within a half hour of here if I would have driven it, like an hour on Friday and then drove all day Saturday. I could have sat here all day Sunday, but I've done that before, but I'd rather have something more to do. I mean, because I have a little issue with with my phone service, which I can tell you about, but if not, I can tell you about it later. So I haven't been able to do much.
Oh, your Spectrum.
Who is Vivian Widmer? Do you know her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can give you the short version.
What, dear?
She has joined our group.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I went to school with her.
I just approved her.
She's Bethany. She's
the short version.
Sister-in-law.
What's that, Dale? Go ahead.
No, I said I can give you the short version of my tale of woe with Spectrum Mobile.
Oh no.
I have to go back to Verizon only because, see, I was paying, I think it was like close to $100 a month with the Verizon, with a plan that, spoiler alert, they don't have anymore, and I was paying it without knowing that there was a lower plan available.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, it was like 100. Well, with my phone that I paid off, it was 111 with the phone, and it was like 90 something without paying for the phone.
Okay.
And so Pat told me about the Spectrum.
Right.
And so I talked to him and thought I had all the I's dotted and the T's crossed and got everything situated, and I spent the $300 and something for this phone that I'm on right now. And it's like 30 gigabytes. It's all Verizon. So I thought, well, I can just lower my YouTube down to 360p, 480p. That should be fine, because on the phone 360p you can't tell the difference, and on my 24-inch monitor TV here you can lower it down to 480 and you can't really tell the difference between that and 720 unless it's something really detailed. Then you can sort of see the difference, but I don't care, and because if I have to, I can watch it when I get home to see the better quality. So I'm doing good. I had used like 8 or 9 gigs at that point, and I thought, okay, I'm getting by. I haven't done a whole lot on my computer because it's mostly like web browsing. I didn't want to update any of the packages or anything because that takes a lot of data. And I'm just sitting there. Can't remember when I got the alert. I have the text message, but I don't want to have to go in there and find it. But I got this text alert, and I'm like, why am I getting this text alert? And it's like, you've used 80% of your hotspot data. And I'm like, what? I go into the Spectrum app and it's like, you've used 8 gigs. And I'm like, I got 22 gigs left. What are you talking about, Willis? And then the next day, you've used 100% of your hotspot data. Your data will continue at 600 kilobits per second until you're reset. And I'm like, what? I called them up and asked them about this. And yeah, it is true that the hotspot is part of your 30 gigabytes of data. Because I have the expanded plan. They're a highest tier. The thing that they neglected to tell me was the hotspot only uses 5 gigabytes.
You're only allowed to use 5?
Yeah, and I'm like,
oh, if I would have known that, I would have never recommended that.
Oh yeah, that's what I told him. I said I would have never signed up for this if I knew
Yeah.
that I could only use 5 gigabytes. And you know, this really kind of like make my head hurt when they said, well, we expect that you would be using Wi-Fi to supplement your data, and I'm like, that's the whole point of the hotspot. We're expecting this for like emailing and web browsing and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you that one. That okay, yeah, that. But I had said that what I was needing this for, and how much I used when I had Verizon, and so they're like, oh, we apologize. We must have been a misunderstanding. So when I get home, I'm going to have to reactivate my Verizon phone.
Oh wow.
I don't know if they'll be able to activate this Spectrum phone, even though it's on their network. But yeah, anyway, I mean, the service, I will give, credit where credit is due. The phone's been fine. The service has been fine. I'm talking on, you can see the quality of the camera on me right now. I only turned it on this time just to see how much data that Zoom actually uses. I never measured it. But I've got like 12. I think I got like 12, or I think I've used 12 so far, 12 or 13. I've got 30 and I'll be home in 2 weeks, so I'm not that concerned about it. But yeah, that's why I was kind of bored and sent you all those things on one day, because
When you were thinking about your Uranus.
I was doing like five hours a day just to split it up, just to have something to do, because usually I'm online doing stuff, and I can't do that because I'm stuck in 1990s waiting 5 minutes for a web page to load, and it's so slow that the JavaScript times out and the page doesn't load anyways. So I mean WordPress is useless on a 600 kilobit per second connection, because it'll come up and saying, "Are you having a connection problem?" Because the script dies. It's like, so. Yeah,
Well, are you going to be able to sign back up with Verizon okay without it costing you an arm and a leg, or?
That's what I have to find out yet.
All right,
I'm a returning customer.
Keep me posted, because I have Verizon, and I don't know, could I add him to mine?
You want to add your redheaded stepchild?
My redheaded stepchild to my Verizon. But I mean, check it out, see what, see what they tell you.
Yeah, because
because you were a customer there. You were a customer of theirs for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that should speak for itself to say, hey, look, here I am.
Yeah, because I was a customer for 2 years, and then I was a customer for several years. A few years ago, because I've tried the different phone companies to see which ones had the best service, and for what I do, Verizon pretty much has the best coverage, unless I go through New Mexico.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I'll have to talk with them to see if they'll let me.
Is there any
back in there
when you use that hotspot data? I'm confused on how are you using that? Are you doing that to stream it to your TV or what?
Yeah, I've got my here's my my Roku.
Okay.
And then I got my two laptops.
Okay. So what are you using a hotspot for?
For to get the Roku online, because I have the same Wi-Fi password in that as my home network.
Oh,
so
okay.
When I plug it in at home, I use my cable modem at home, and then when I bring it on the truck here, I have the same credentials on my phone's hotspot. So when I plug in the Roku, it connects to my phone as if it was at home.
Okay, now I understand.
And it was doing okay when I was on Verizon as far as how much data I used. I mean, I would use, up 30 gigs.
Yeah, I was that way when I was driving too.
But I had 50. That's the thing. When I looked on their website, apparently the same plan. Well, not the same plan because they changed it, but I was at 75 gigs on the phone and 30 gigs on the hotspot for like 90 plus the price of the phone. And then what they have got now is it's $55 a month. And they say it's unlimited. They don't have a number now. So I'm sure that there is a magic number that you hit that they'll slow you down at, which I'll have to get the fine print on.
Right.
And then the hotspot is 50 gigs. So I'd actually get 20 gigs more hotspot than I had before.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Missy and Lexi probably know more about what, but I know Lexi's on there a lot. So, yeah.
Ellie's just said that we've never left Verizon tempted but stayed. They are pricey, but no real problems.
Right.
We had my niece added on to ours for years with unlimited data.
Yeah, that's kind of what Lexi and Missy are, is unlimited too. So we've got.
Yeah, and that's what I have is unlimited data. And
I don't see why
they'll probably work with him though,
Spectrum.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
As far as Verizon.
yeah, I have like 5 lines. I think it is 1, 2. Yeah, 5 lines, and my bill is like 300 and something.
Ouch.
It's
Well,
not.
see,
It's not bad for line. I'm thinking because I had my ex on my line when dating, and I'm thinking it was like $40 or $45 for the additional line. This was, 4 or 5.
Anyway, we got.
Excuse me.
We're working on 7:45 now. Let's roll one of these beautiful pieces of bean footage.
Alrighty.
What are we gonna watch first?
It's up to you. We got bloopers too. Remember, if we get that far, but.
Yeah, let's do James Hong.
All right.
All right, I got a clip on this guy. Look at this thing. This dude's.
And now, who do we thank for this? Is this CBS?
I think
or
this is CBS.
Is this Jimmy Fallon and them?
It was the thing you saw on CBS.
Okay, so that's CBS.
So we'll be back on the other side of this. You're watching and hopefully listening to the Radio Actors Show on Crooked River.
You may not know the name, but chances are you know the face. Ben Mankiewicz caught up with James Hong, one of the most prolific actors of all time.
A sit-down interview with James Hong can morph unexpectedly into an episode of Dancing with the Character Actors.
Should we dance a little to get some?
I'm looking forward to the dance. Is that now? Are we dancing now?
You have to think this is a 92-year-old man doing it.
James Hong is no ordinary 92-year-old. And while he can clearly cut the rug, what's truly astounding is a Hollywood career currently in its 68th year.
I've been an actor since 1953 or 4. Probably the only living guy that has worked with Groucho Marx.
That's where it began with Groucho. We'll get to that in a minute. Today, 445 screen credits later, Hong has been in Chinatown, Blade Runner, Bonanza, The Big Bang Theory, and a memorable episode of Seinfeld.
Cartwright! Just like that. Telephone for Cartwright. You know answer. She swear and I hang up.
You might have been in more movies and TV shows than anyone else ever.
I would think so. The major, movies and TV, there's some guys that have been in stage plays and such,
Who goes to plays?
Forget the 445 credits. That he even has 4 credits is a tribute to his fierce determination. The son of Chinese immigrants, Hong was born in Minneapolis in 1929.
It was Chinatown, but in Minneapolis, Chinatown consists of 2 Chinese stores.
And one of them was your dad?
Yeah. He had an herb store, and we live on the 2nd floor.
As a young boy, Hong didn't speak much English. That made him a target in school.
I think my class was, probably 500 kids. I was the only Asian student. So the bullies would pick on me and beat me up. So because, bullies are bullies, right? They'll just pick on the underdog.
Hong's parents wanted him to be an engineer. That's what he studied in college. Then he was drafted to fight in the Korean War.
What was it like to be a Chinese American in the Army?
One of my Army fellow mates there said to me, James, I think you might have a problem because if you are in that American Army outfit, charge the Koreans, they will shoot you because you're an American. And if you retreat, the Americans will shoot you also because they think you are a kook just in an American outfit. So he got me a little bit perturbed with that statement,
Hong entertained troops by doing impressions. He got laughs, and then he got an idea. After the war, he moved to Los Angeles, where he pursued his new dream, showbiz. A big break came when he appeared on Groucho Marx's radio show, You Bet Your Life.
Where are you from, Jim?
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Of course, I thought you might be, because Hong is a fine old Scandinavian name.
Next came small parts on TV, often demeaning. He was the Chinese soldier, the Chinese prisoner, the guy running a Chinese laundry.
You didn't play fully rounded characters. You played stereotypes, and that's it.
If you didn't play the roles that were given to you, you would be not working at all. So in a sense, in order to keep up my craft, I had to take these roles as the Chinese railroad worker or laundryman and so forth.
Though he was getting more work, Hong was also forced to confront racism. One incident still stings.
That's a very hurtful thing. And I was in London doing The Son of Charlie Chan.
It was a rifle that fired the shot, right? Well,
J. Carroll Nash was the Charlie Chan. Every day he had to push his eyes up like this, and he had to push his eyelid against that piece so that you wouldn't see the space between the piece and his own eye. Of doing everything, that got under his skin. So one day, he was on camera, I was off camera. I missed one line. He says, "What is this? A school for Chinese actors?" And I was shocked, didn't know what to do. He started to advance me. I had my fist clenched. I thought he was going to slug me or something, He walked past and had me fired. And I went to his dressing room and apologized. I said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Nash, I missed the line." He wouldn't forgive me, had me fired. Don't talk about it. It just hurts too much.
So essentially, he got you fired because you had the audacity to be of Chinese descent in a movie filled with Chinese people.
That's right. I think he just was very prejudiced.
By the 1970s, Hong had already amassed a few hundred credits, including playing Faye Dunaway's butler in Chinatown. He's also in the sci-fi classic Big Trouble in Little China, a role he happily recalls.
A girl with green eyes to satisfy Qing Dai, a girl brave enough to embrace the naked blade. And when I
found her, I shall marry her.
Look, I don't understand.
More recently, he's been in every iteration of Kung Fu Panda. And this year, Hong will receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He is a living character actor legend and a champion for standing up against racism and fighting the stereotypes faced by Asian Americans in Hollywood and beyond.
In every role I played, I tried to make it a human being. And that's why I think I kept working, because I think not only the studio, but the people saw that James was portraying a Chinese as a real person and not just a cliche character.
It's not easy to do, to impart humanity into a character that is written so stereotypically.
Yes, that's true.
At 92, the characters keep coming, and Hong already has projects lined up to add to those 445 credits.
Are you going to retire?
Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune to die. Okay, what was the question now?
I think we have our answer. You're not retiring.
What's that word?
I mean, if I were making a movie, I'd hire you for something. I'd be the first person I'd hire.
Yeah, well, it has to be at least double scale, okay?
Well, then you're out.
I knew it.
All right, where the heck did we go here? Let things catch up there. There we go. I want to thank CBS for that clip. That was pretty good. I remember that guy when he played in Charlie Chan. It was one of the places I remembered him from. The other was he was actually in The Big Bang Theory. I remember that episode. Did a role like thousands of other actors on old Perry Mason. I may have to do a little researching on Perry Mason sometime and come up with how many famous actors now Perry Mason actually had on there. You okay, dear? Oh, all right, I guess we can do that. Ellie, she's making me open her wine again.
For some reason they're a little tough this time.
Start to move.
Anyhow.
I'll talk until I get this damn thing open.
Yeah. Now that I put him to work, opening up my bottle of wine. Yeah, I mean, I was really pleased to see them share that this morning about him. I didn't realize how diverse of an actor he really was, or is, I'm sorry. Because apparently, as they were showing that, he's going strong at the end. I mean,
I can't get this thing open. I need
all
her
right,
pliers.
Here, give it back. Maybe you got it loosened enough. I can get it now.
Yeah, likely story. You get it?
Not yet. I'll get it.
Yeah, you're gonna get it, all right.
All right, go on
That
without
sounds kind of like a threat.
me. All right, Eric. Yes,
And I'm gonna be the one giving it to you.
Yeah. All right, I'll go take care of this. I'll be back.
Give me a pair of pliers and I'll
No,
open it.
I'll get it.
Yeah. Grumble. Anything to get off camera. She's got it so rough here. Anyway, let's see what Ellie's response was. She said I should open her wine, as you should. Gary wants to know if he should come and help you. Go ahead and give him my address. Tell him to come on over. You can come with him too, El. We'll put you both on mics.
Oh, that would be entertaining.
Yes, it would be. I'd let her in here in a heartbeat. Both of them, actually. Anyway, anybody seen any of the old Charlie Chan movies? Or remember this guy from anything?
The Kung Fu Panda, I kind of do. But it's been a few years, so I vaguely remember.
I have been known to watch Perry Mason here and there. And like I said, I remember him in a couple of roles on there. Oh, man.
What?
Ellie's reply was to coming over with Gary. No.
Here, I found the solution. One of those rubber things.
Did you get it open?
Yep.
Good job.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I'll let you work here another day then.
Thanks. Thank you so very much.
Well, it could be worse. It could be this.
You better be nice to me.
Could be this.
Hey, I think you have something on your tongue. Show it to me. I can't possibly look that fast. You gotta keep your mouth open.
Bleh.
Stop, I'm being serious. This could be dangerous.
See it?
No. Just stop.
Bleh.
God, I love that clip. That's gonna, that right there is gonna become a regular thing on this show from now on. I'm gonna have to put that on here all the time. I'm gonna have to save it in the buttons. That is so cool. And I think it's so neat having that. Well, just do that. Right? Right.
All righty. So where are you going next?
I don't know. Where are we going next?
Well, I mean, you could flip the camera back to you if you want it, if you wanted to.
You keep using language like that, and you're going to find yourself out of a job.
Okay. There are just times this stuff just fits.
Yeah.
Well, at least you didn't use our newest clip yet.
Our newest clip.
You know what I'm talking about. The one you made me watch.
That's what I just played.
No. That wasn't...
Oh, I haven't got that one queued yet.
Oh.
Yet.
Uh-oh. Must be bad.
You are mean to me. You insult me and you don't appreciate anything that I do. Y'all.
That one I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah. I'm going to have to get... I got Baker the touchdown maker on here. I'm going to have to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the Roofer songs.
Yep. That's too bad.
Yeah.
There'll be new ones.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
You know there will be, because there's Browns fans that have nothing better to do than make songs.
Yep. Boy, there's some stuff on here I haven't played in a long time. How about this?
Hey, I'm Rhubarb Jenkins, local owner of Sloppy's Diner located in the hills of Lick Fork, West Virginia. We have some food without all the worry of health code regulations. We use lukewarm water for dishwashing just to save coal for the stove. We let the kids eat on the floor as to save parents the trouble of having to knock them upside the head. We have everyday specials like Sloppy's Burger Platter with our oil-dripping hash browns, only $3.99 since we use the lowest grade beef possible. Stop into Sloppy's Diner soon, located just a stone's throw from the hospital for your convenience. New location coming to Booger Hole soon. You stop by now, you hear?
Yeah, I've been on the show for almost 2 years and I've never heard that one.
That's been, that was Shane. Sugar Shane.
I was going to say, I thought it sounded like him.
It was Shane Wilson.
Well, thank you, Shane.
Yes, thank you.
I'm sure you're not listening tonight, but...
Never know. He might. But,
I thought it sounded like him, but I wasn't sure.
he actually... That boy's got a twisted sense of humor, and it's really funny. I've had some stuff over the years that I've heard him do. But marvelous sense of humor. Anyway, let's see what else we got. I guess we can want to do a the corner there, Miss Corners?
Okay.
Or are you eating? If you're eating,
I was munching, but I can.
If you're eating, I can understand.
Let's see.
I can always go into another clip.
We can. Why don't you do that for now?
All right. Let's see what we got. Tell you what. Let's do the bloopers. Actually, better than that. Today is the day that, according to legend, George Jetson was born. And I decided I wanted to see a clip on this. I'm going to lay this on you guys. You'll get a kick out of this. George Jetson was born today. Where? When? I don't know.
Most of us never grew up with the Jetsons, but the show's impact on pop culture is felt even now. This family living in the future was on the opposite end of the Flintstones, and it was always cool to see what they had. Would we ever get flying cars? Would our planet become too much of a disaster that we would have to live in the skies? Probably. The Jetsons was always meant to take place in the far future. A future we would dream of and maybe never even see in our lives. But sit down for this one. That future is about to be here with the birth of George Jetson. Before figuring out if his birthday today is legit, we have to understand why everyone thinks he was born in 2022. Well, the major evidence comes in the classic episode, Test Pilot, where George volunteers to be a test pilot for a dangerous job. Most of the story here isn't relevant to his birthday, but what is worth mentioning is a few lines of dialogue where he's talking about his age.
I'm not going to pift. Not even poof? No, you're completely healthy. You should live to be 150. Please, Mr. Spacely, don't launch those missiles. I've got 110 good years ahead of me.
So if he might live to 150 years old, and he says he has a good 110 years left to live, do the math. It's not rocket science, but that is. As of this episode, that would mean George is 40. Now, when we realize that the Jetsons began airing in 1962, and the show takes place 100 years in the future in 2062, do a bit of simple math. 2062 minus 40 is 2022. This confirms that, yeah, George was born in 2022. However, things get complicated when we're talking about the actual date. You may or may not have seen these viral tweets that reveal July 31st as the day. Here's the unfortunate truth. It's not accurate. Any mention of a date is from a fan with no evidence to back it up. It's impossible to nail down a real birthday this year because we don't know. This show never says. Don't pay attention to this. It's just spreading misinformation without a source. The idea that he was born in 2022 is pretty likely, but there's no date. Either way, he's a cartoon character. We probably shouldn't overthink it. Now, because George is born this year, we have just 4 more decades before we see the world of the Jetsons. Will it live up to the hype? I don't think so.
But anyway, that's all for this video. Subscribe for more awesome cartoon videos. Give a thumbs up and comment below, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Belsky Bum 94 for that clip.
Thank you.
George Jetson's born today. How about that? I wonder if he was born at night. Alexa, stop.
That's interesting. That's an interesting question. It really didn't state one way or the other.
Yeah, I don't remember any of it. I remember him doing what he did. I used to watch the Jetsons all the time. But, what's that, Dale?
Sorry, I thought I was muted.
They're, he's actually born today, so in 40 years, 2062, I'll be 112.
I don't even want to think about it right now.
What?
I don't want to think about it.
What?
Yeah, I don't want to think think about it.
What?
How old I'll be in 2062.
Oh, you're what, 6 years behind me?
Oh, I'll be, what,
106.
101. I was born in 61. 2062 minus 1961 is 1, 0, 9 from Ben.
101.
I'll be 101, which makes you going to be 108.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. You're in trouble now.
Alexa says August 27th, but no year.
Huh?
She said that Alexa says August 27th, but no year. Well, supposedly the cartoon or the things that I saw on Facebook, the Wikipedia of the truth, said July 27th. Who knows? Anyway, let's. Why don't you do ready for our corners now?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Since we
Thank you.
buzzed that.
Sorry about that. Let's see. These are courtesy of this last week. A friend of mine at work, which I'm hoping I can add her to Facebook maybe next week. She and another lady put together these list of questions. They called it getting to know each other in our neighborhood. Kind of like doing Mr. Rogers, I guess, is what they were going for. Oh, here's a good one. Where is your happy place?
I feel like we did this question like the last couple weeks.
I don't think so.
I was going to say, Eric, I just got these like Friday. So, I mean, maybe it was worded different. I don't know. But anybody got an idea where their happy place is?
I know where mine is. Right here.
Right there?
Yep, right in front of my cricket.
Okay. Anybody else got a happy place?
Sleeping in my bed.
Alrighty.
Oh, another one is floating down the lazy river at Waterworks.
Oh. Alrighty.
I think mine,
Oops, sorry.
besides what I'm doing right now,
This has got to be your happy place. You're in that computer chair 90% of the time anymore.
I think a happier place would be Key West. Walking around there. That was absolutely my happy place. Or Vegas. Yeah, Vegas. That would be the place I could be the happiest. But for right now, this is good. All right, Dale, you're up next. You haven't said much in a couple of hours.
Here's my happy place.
Oh. I'm going to have to ask you when you get in here how that, because they like me sleeping sitting up, and I think with this vertigo stuff going on, I bought me a pillow, but I don't think it's, where did you get your pillow at?
Oh, this one?
The one, your TV pillow, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the seat back pillow or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't think this thing has, I can't turn the flash on here.
Yeah, that's all right.
But I can get it in this one, I think could have been, let's see here.
Oh my goodness, you still got the tag on there.
Yeah, I forget to cut these things off. I usually do, but I forgot to cut this one because it was on the bottom. All right.
Mainstay. So
It's probably distributed by Walmart. So I got this one at Walmart.
okay. All right. I got this one round this time. I got it at Target. Maybe I'll have to check out Walmart again.
I think I had another one. I think I have a red one at home. On my bed at home. I think I got that one. I think at Target because I think I mentioned before I started shopping at Target the past few years instead of Walmart. Because I think the Waltons have got enough of my money, and I delivered their stuff for 2 years, so I think we're even.
Okay.
All right,
That's
Erik,
fair.
you're up next. Where's your happy place, Erik?
Erik
and me?
Honestly, not even joking, I would say probably here doing shows because that's really all I can think of right now.
Oh, isn't that special?
He likes us.
Yeah, he must. To put up with me harassing him like I do.
Yeah, we could say that.
My husband said that his happy place is on the toilet.
Oh!
I'm kidding, no. He said in his little man cave he has made in our room.
We didn't embarrass him live on the air.
Oh, my.
Did Justine answer that?
Yeah, she said in front of her.
Oh, that's right.
Her,
Cricket.
yeah.
Yep.
I guess my happy place. Golly. My happy place is sitting and watching Blue Bloods and eating chocolate.
Ellie's
And drinking wine.
Ellie's still looking for it
Oh.
and open to suggestions.
Oh. Oh.
A glass of wine, Ellie, and a nice bar with friends. That could be your happy place.
Glass wine and on the toilet.
Melanie's got an affliction with the toilet tonight for some
I
reason.
guess. You trying to tell us something, Mel?
What's that, Justine?
As long as you don't have your kids knocking on the door, are you pooping?
Melanie,
Hey, Dad, Mom's pooping.
now, Melanie, do you have one of those Toto toilets I saw a video on where they actually have comes out of the one armrest that has a 10-inch tablet so you can watch your streaming video on it. It's air conditioned.
I never come out of the bathroom.
You can actually set the
I was
temperature.
gonna say we got a squatty potty.
You can set the temperature of the water, and it has an app so that if you know that you really gotta go, you can preheat the toilet or pre-cool it.
Oh my God, that's too much.
If you're
That's a
watching
little too
something
bougie for me.
That's a topic for the next show.
Yeah, you can just pause your show, go in the bathroom, load the app up, resume where you left off. I already have the seed warm.
Hey, no
We're
pun
doing-
intended, but those squatty potties are the shit.
We're doing this show. We've got the Rolls-Royce of refrigerators. Next week is going to be the Rolls-Royce of toilets.
Toilets, huh?
You got to look at
the crapper.
Is it golden also?
What's that, Dale? I didn't hear you.
I said you got to look up those Totos because they are crazy.
Flora, put this on the list for next week.
Oh, Jesus. I'm not.
We're going to talk about crappers next week.
The Rolls-Royce of
I mean,
crappers.
If we talk about the one topic that we had talked about before field day, and then that one, it could be the two total polar opposites, like one serious and then one totally not serious to follow that.
Yeah, that'd work.
What?
We already had the show planned when you asked me that today. So.
Okay, Patrick.
Oh,
So when did, just out of curiosity, what group did Vivi join?
I'll have to look.
I was just wondering if I should give her a shout out, actually.
I'll look.
Okay, he's looking.
But you can talk while I'm looking.
Can I? I can talk?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah.
She was Crooked River Radio Network.
Oh, all right. Well, Vivi, if you're listening tonight, welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
And if you've been listening all along, I'm so grateful. And yeah, Flora's having her second glass of wine for today since her vertigo is getting better. It's still not quite there yet, but it is. Of course, Missy and Lexi were out of town this last weekend, so I really had not much of a choice but to venture out on my own in the car for a little bit. And Ella and I went to Giant Eagle, we went to Giant Eagle the other day so that Ella could help Grandma at the grocery store. But Grandma went all by herself today, and I have to say I'm not quite there yet. But anyway, so welcome.
Yep, I'm not quite there yet either.
Yeah, I know. Here's a good one. Can we do another one, or
Sure.
do you want to do another clip?
Sure, go ahead.
Do you have any phobias?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
I have a fear of elevators and a fear of bridges.
With
like,
water all around them.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you on the bridges and the water.
I could never go to Key West.
I went there with your. We were just talking about this. That must have been one of.
I was on the phone.
Oh, okay. My God, close my eyes and pray that I make it down there and back.
And Dad, you can say you never know you never know it's around you. I don't care. I know that it's a 7-mile bridge. I'm not doing it.
Yep. And there's water all around.
It's too bad for that. I can't do it.
What if you were in an airplane over water?
That's fine.
How can that be fine
that
and
ain't
not a bridge?
That ain't fine with me. I can't do that either. But
How can that be fine and it's not a bridge? Or
because she can't see the water up in the airplane.
I don't know.
She don't know up there.
But the fear is real. I have it. There's nothing I can do about it.
I have a fear of open stairs, the stairs that are open, and then heights if I'm outside. Like if there's nothing around me and I'm up high, I get dizzy. But if I'm in a building and I'm up high, I'm okay. Or in an airplane, for instance, up high, I'm okay. It's just when it's open.
Did you ever go to Kings Island?
No.
Well, I know down at Kings Island, they have this thing down there that it was like my friend and ex-boyfriend and them, they made me go up and he was like, come over here and look out. It's like, I think they call it an Eiffel Tower if I think about it right. I don't know, but
I go on roller coasters, but for some reason I just can't be up high.
I hate heights. When I was in grade school, 4th grade, we went to Hale Farm and we were supposed to go up this ladder into this hayloft. Well, I got about halfway up and it was like, nothing happening, not going. The teacher's down at the bottom telling this kid behind me, Neil, we'll go on up. And Neil says, I can't, Flora won't move. And it was like, so needless to say, yeah, I'm right there with you on them heights. Did we lose Melanie? She must have got feared of heights.
No, she's still there.
Oh, she's still there? Oh, okay. I was just like, but yeah, that was a long time ago. 4th grade, yeah. I don't know if Neil still remembers it, but I sure do.
So, Dale, what's your phobia?
Well, I've got two that are actually, I guess, somewhat related. The one is fear of needles, and the other one is a fear of insects that can sting you. I had the insect one was can't remember. I had to have been early teens or something on my bike, and I had one. I don't know. I was going down a hill really fast on my bike. I mean, fast for a bike and a bicycle. I think I was going down a hill at like, I don't know, 35 miles an hour or something like that. Because in my neighborhood, we had some pretty good hills. And I had one, I don't know if it was just flying along and it hit me, or I got in its way and it attacked me or something, but I had one that hit me right in just below the sternum, and it was pretty bad. It got infected and giant welt, so I never liked them since. And then needles. I actually, maybe our medical people on the show tonight can explain this, but mine's actually so bad of the needles that my veins will disappear. They actually have on my medical charts or records or whatever that whenever they do blood draws, I have to be like sleeping because they'll sit there and they're like, I can't find can't find any. So
Yeah, I was that way for a while. But no, since I've gotten older, my veins are a lot of them are closer to the top of my skin. As far as my phobias go, my kids would probably say I had a phobia about bugs because of some past stuff. But I think my worst one is probably fear of heights. I can stand on a balcony or something like that, not a problem. But if I get like on the edge of a roof where I got to get on a ladder, that just, I do it if I have to, but I'd rather not.
So you don't want to climb your tower?
Nope, that's what I got you for.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Melvin.
Mr. Melvin! Mr. Keith, what's up? Yeah, well,
okay. Maybe he's making
let him connect.
I was going to say, maybe he's making supper.
Excuse me.
Oh, well.
Anyway, want to do another clip here?
Sure.
What else are we going to do tonight? Well, let's do the refrigerator thing. I'm kind of anxious to see that. You know, we bought a refrigerator here a couple months ago. And I paid a lot of money for it. But it was only a quarter of what I'm about to show you goes for. You will not believe these refrigerators. So let me, without any further ado, or don't either, let's watch this clip. We'll be back on the other side of this. You are listening to the Radioactive Show on Crooked River.
You may call it the fridge, but to your grandparents, it was the icebox. And to the people at Sub-Zero, it's art. Rita Braver has the cold facts.
Kitchen appliance really be an object of desire? Well, a Sub-Zero refrigerator just might be the answer to some people's dreams. Look at this handle.
It's like a piece of jewelry, really.
It really is.
You can get it as a
freezer, you can get it as a refrigerator, you can get it as a wine storage unit.
Reese Witherspoon even dances in front of hers. CEO Jim Bakke acknowledges they start at a cool $9,000. Your refrigerators are a lot more expensive than those of almost all of your competitors.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's a good thing. Quality has always been the cornerstone of Sub-Zero.
And here at the company's sprawling 200-acre headquarters in Fitchburg, just outside Madison, Wisconsin, Bakke says the dramatic Welcome Center underscores the company's upscale image.
That's what we're selling here, lifestyle, absolutely.
But there was nothing glamorous going on 77 years ago when the company started out in a Madison garage.
That's my grandfather.
In World War I. Westy Bakke, son of Norwegian immigrants, first worked as a salesman for another refrigerator company. But after doing custom work for famed architect Frank Lloyd Wright, he founded Sub-Zero in 1945 with only 3 employees, including his son Bud, Jim Bakke's father.
And they made 3 Sub-Zero units per day, huh?
The company's museum features Sub-Zero innovations. Westy Bakke was the first to make an upright freezer with doors opening out, the first to create separate sealed refrigerator and freezer compartments in one unit.
He could maintain temperatures down below zero, which was hard to do back in those days. So hence he called his company Sub-Zero.
Since 2000, the company has also made Wolf ranges, but it's their sleek refrigerator models that can be covered in almost anything that make them a favorite of interior designers.
So this is fumed eucalyptus, the cabinetry. As you can see.
Eucalyptus?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, beautiful.
Mick DiGiulio has used Sub-Zero products in scores of kitchens.
I've gone back to the project 25 years later. The Sub-Zero is still there working.
And every one of them is made in America, mostly right here in Fitchburg. About 2,000 of the company's 3,000 employees work in this factory. How long have you worked here?
42 years now. My dad was here for 43 years.
Ron Kluge helps construct the refrigerators. Every one put through intensive quality testing with a specially designed computer program.
It's something that is exclusive to Sub-Zero, that we actually do 100% testing on everything that we manufacture.
They even grow their own lettuce to make sure it stays fresh after 2 weeks in the Sub-Zero.
We control the humidity, the airflow, the temperature, the lighting cycle.
And if the company's attention to detail seems frozen in time, well, Jim Bakke says it's not about cold, hard cash.
I am sure that you have had some big offers for your company. Why haven't you taken them?
It'd be like almost selling one of my children, to be honest with you. My grandfather and my dad gave me such a wonderful opportunity, and to sell it, you know, to make some more money, I have no interest in that.
I think that was another CBS thing.
Yes, it was. Yep.
So did you buy? That's what prompted that, Keith. I bought a refrigerator a couple of months ago. That is still looking grand, like the grands that it cost.
But no, we did not buy one of those.
Those Sub-Zero fridges.
Why
are pretty
not?
good.
All the trouble you went.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Best
if we
Buy
could
didn't have any.
if we could have afforded one of those, there'd be a new car out in the driveway. I'm sorry, I would take a new car for that much versus a refrigerator.
Yeah, those start at $9,000.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Keith.
Yeah, welcome, Keith. Good to see you, sir.
I'm back at you.
What you been up to?
Hey, I was doing a little FT8 today. How about that?
Hey, the other night I hit the ISS again for the third time.
Yeah.
And actually made a contact through it.
I made a long distance contact today. I made one on 6 meters today.
Oh, where to?
to K8ZT.
Is that Anthony?
Yes. It's
Oh,
Anthony.
okay.
Yes, that's
From
Anthony.
Akron to Cuyahoga Falls. What a haul.
It took me a minute, but I was like, that call kind of sounded familiar.
Of all people to answer a CQ on the 6 meters, it was him.
He was probably doing that during, what time was this? Was it about 4? A little after 4?
I'm not sure. I have to look at the log.
He was probably doing it during our meeting. We had an
Are
officers
you trying
meeting.
to tell me you don't think Anthony was giving you his full attention?
He can multitask. I've seen that boy multitask like that. So he was probably talking to you and talking to us at the same time.
Oh my!
I actually hit the. I talked to some guy in Nebraska that was B0 N0 BOO, and that turns out that it's the Burnt Oak Observatory in Nebraska.
Excuse me.
Very cool.
Don't know what they do, but I do know that that was a shot I made. And a shout out to them if they're listening. But it was
I would
pretty
have
cool.
to say they do some observe.
It was pretty cool because of the fact that we actually talked to each other. The other contacts I've made, I've heard myself through it, and I've had people echo my call, but I may have put my call out and the guy came back to me, and I confirmed him. So, yeah, he was an EN10, I think, or something 10, and when I went back to him, he confirmed my call. So that was pretty cool. That thing is pretty interesting to learn the quirks of. And I see people, and I've watched videos on this stuff all the time about how you can talk on satellites and this and that and the other thing. But the cool part was that I actually had to work my radio in order to keep on it and to actually be able to work through it. And that was by working the radio. I had to adjust just for the Doppler effect and all that, which until you play with that, nobody realizes that's there. But that thing, when it travels over top of you at such a speed, the frequency changes by, I think it's 65 hertz. So you got to go every 5. What you do is it starts out in one place, and you switch up or down to see where it's moved to, and then it gets fuzzy. And then you take and switch it down a little further, and you can pretty much track it right across the sky like that. And it's not that hard to do. Most anybody with a dual band HT or actually an HT mobile or something like that could probably hit it easy. I mean, I've seen it hit on 5 watts before. I hit it on 50 from here.
Send me the information on that. I might try to mess with it because my
the
7-Eleven has
the downlink on it is 145.990, and it's got to have 67 hertz tone on it. There's no there's no offset because it's simplex. And then the downlink where you hear it at starts at 438, and it drops every 5 till you get to 790. So it's
all right. Well,
stuff all over the
later. Text me the information on it.
There's stuff all over the internet for it too.
I don't have anything.
What's that?
So I'm not don't remember it. So.
I'll take if nothing else, I still got the link for that, the thing that explained it all to me. I'll just send you that. In fact, I can almost post that on
that'll work.
on our page too. But interesting stuff, you know. It's stuff I've never done before, and I don't know a whole lot of people until I started bragging about it that did anything with it either. That was the neat part. You know, I was one of probably 5 or 6 people that I knew that had done anything with it. Of course, you know, what's his name? Mel Vi. He's the satellite king over there. And he talks on those things all the time. But somebody like me, I don't have that much equipment to do it. I could imagine what it'd be like if I had a beam. That'd be neat as hell. You just track it with the beam.
My 2-meter all mode has a VFO in it, so that'll make it easy.
Well, what I did,
and I need to get some work done on.
What I did with mine,
on my 40.
What's that?
So my 2-meter all mode has a VFO in it. So does the 440, but I need to get some.
Now, what I did with mine, I've actually got a 24-foot diamond antenna on the roof here. And what I did with it was I have the ICOM 5100, I think it is. So that's all programmable, and you can hear both sides of it at the same time. So what I did is I put the transmit frequency in one side, and I put the 7, I think it's 8 channels with the shifts in them on the other side. And I just turn the volume down on the transmit side and turn the receiver up. And I throw out my call, and I could hear it when it hit the station. And that's when I heard myself, that's usually when I'd get contacted. And sometimes you get a pretty decent signal off of it. You get almost full scale of it, depending on where it's at. But it fades quick.
That's kind of cool. I got that with 711 and an 811, and they're both all mode with VFOs.
That would work. A lot of fun. I didn't realize I'd have that much fun with it. Now I'm addicted. There is a thing on, there's actually 2 or 3 different programs you can grab for your phone. One is called ISS Detector, and the other one is ISS Chat or something like that, I think. Anyway, all you got to do is look in your Google or your Play applications on your phone, your app stores, and you can just type in ISS there, and it'll find a couple of things, so you can use it to detect it, or it'll tell you where it's at. Like, I don't know if you can see this or not. All right, now I've got a pass coming in 1 hour and 14 minutes. And let's see what it's going to be here. Right now, it's already had a pass about a half hour ago. Right now, it's just going on the ISS is going on to the tip of Africa, or onto the side of Africa, that way. And it gives you the path.
Yeah. And I think I got one of those.
The path will eventually show you where it's going to go over top of you. This is not going to be too bad this time. Actually, it's going to be down below. Let's see it here. The red dot here, I don't know if you can see that or not. The red dot there is where I'm at. And the bottom path, the bottom trail there is where it's going to go. So it's going to be in pretty good range.
We have a question from Beth on Facebook. Are we going to be able to see it later at the International Space Station, or is it going to be too cloudy?
I don't know as far as the clouds go. I would imagine you'll be able to see it. It may be low on the horizon. Let me go back and see how long the path is going to be. Oh, come on. One thing I... This path is actually going to be 6 minutes. Because it goes from 54 to 59. 10:17. Let's see if I can figure this out here. I'm kind of new to this application, so. The next path is going to be 5 minutes and 8 seconds. And it'll go below us. But still,
I didn't mean to
still, it'll get us on the...
take over the show here. So
you're not. Don't worry about it. We're just here to talk.
My dinner and my drink.
What are you having for dinner tonight?
I made sausage and potatoes, and then I made some herb biscuits, and then for my drink, I'm gonna have a little bit of.
Have a little bit of what for the drink?
And then for my drink, I'm going to have a little bit of peach Crown Royal.
Oh.
Okay.
Like the peach stuff.
Alrighty. No worries about all that, that's for sure.
All right, let's, we wanted to do we'll save the bloopers for last. That'll leave everybody laughing.
Okay.
I got two new subjects here that are kind of sad. Part of your childhood is evaporating before your eyes. As a lot of people know, Tony Dow, who played Wally Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver, passed away this last week. There was a lot of confusion around it. His wife supposedly made the mistake of letting it out earlier, and he was still in hospice. And then today we heard that Nichelle Nichols, who played Uhura on the Star Trek fame, passed away this afternoon. So I'm going to just play these both back to back, and we'll come back and talk about them here after it's over. You're listening to the Radioactive Show, and we are on Crooked River. Hopefully you're watching this too.
Gee, Wally, it's yours nice you helped me out.
Look, I'm only helping you because if Dad gets mad at you, he always winds up getting mad at me.
That's Tony Dow and Jerry Mathers in the 1950s TV hit Leave It to Beaver. So, whatever happened to Wally? Jim Axelrod catches up with an older, wiser Tony Dow.
This piece is the second piece I ever did, and this is called Alter Ego.
In the studio where he spent the last 20 years sculpting meditations on our humanity.
What is the emotion or feeling you're getting at here?
It's going to represent hope.
This artist is carving a gnarled piece of burlwood into a dramatic figure that'll then be cast in bronze, wrestling some sense of optimism from the struggle life so often presents.
So this face is pain.
That's pain.
And you're changing it to what?
To one of hope.
As many as 50 hours of work go into a single piece before it's ready for his signature, T. Dow.
Once you start a piece, that piece takes control. What it does is it tells you what you need to do next.
Finally, at the age of 76, the artist is happy to relinquish control of his work. It wasn't always like that.
From the time I was 11 or 12, I was being told what to do. I was told on the set. I was told at home. I didn't have control of my life.
You were literally given your lines.
Yeah.
Leave it to Beaver.
T-Dow is Tony Dow, who, at the age of 12, began starring as Wally Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver.
Okay, now hold your head straight and I'll yank. 1, 2, 3.
A TV series depicting a mythical version of mid-century American life.
Hey, can I take a sandwich in my pocket? They're grilled cheese. Gee, Mom, these are all pans.
And a show so popular it's never left the screen since its debut in 1957.
What was the genius of Leave It to Beaver?
Well, the genius of Leave It to Beaver was that the show was written from a child's point of view.
Born in Hollywood, Tony Dow was a competitive swimmer as a kid when he tagged along with his coach to an audition. The coach didn't get the part. But, as his mother told him at lunch, Tony got an offer.
I took a bite of my hamburger, and I took a sip of my malt, and I said, okay. And there went my life.
What's this, Wally?
Well, that's an official scout compass. I don't know exactly how it works, but when you start out somewhere, it's supposed to tell you which way you're going.
Overnight, Dow's life headed in a direction no compass could help him navigate. A teen heartthrob before he could drive, his adolescence unfolded in front of millions as he played the polite, trustworthy, all-American Big Brother.
You didn't think Wally was going to define you?
No, I didn't, but it did.
Yes, sir.
I was going to have to live with it for the rest of my life. I thought, this isn't fair. I mean, I'd like to do some other stuff. I'd like to do some interesting stuff. It's sad to be famous at 12 years old or something, and then you grow up and become a real person, and nothing's happening for you.
The sadness turned to anger, setting Tony Dow up for a struggle that would mark the rest of his life.
Anger, if it's untreated, anger turns to depression. But depression isn't something you can say cheer up about. It's a very powerful thing, and it's had a lot of effect on my life.
Lauren Dow is Tony's wife of 41 years.
What's it like to listen to Tony talk about the depression?
Well, I'm very proud of him for talking about it, for dealing with it, and for sharing it with others.
She's helped him balance the curse of being linked forever to Wally by helping him see clearly the blessings.
What did you fall in love with?
His sweetness, softness, vulnerability.
I hate to do this, it's so trite and cliche, but...
Spit it out.
Sounds like Wally. Is there any Wally in him?
I think there's a lot of Tony in the character. They're intertwined. Wally was very much like Tony. Silver, buttons, and crystal.
An artist herself, she makes mosaics in her own space in their shared studio.
Beautiful. Yeah. I think the art is like the best thing for him, and he's created some very interesting things while depressed.
Dow, too, credits his art, combined with medication and therapy, for getting a handle on his depression.
And I've got it under control, pretty much. I think people should take the leap of faith that they can feel better. The world up above is ideal and beautiful, and the whole series is like that, so.
I want this in the air in 2 weeks. Can you do it?
He still takes an occasional acting job, always aware that Wally is lurking nearby, but no longer troubled by it.
I felt that way probably from the time I was 20, maybe until I was 40. And then at 40, I realized how great the show was, how appreciative I should be for being in that show.
So long, Beaver.
Around his home in the hills above Los Angeles, are plenty of signs of that appreciation. A pennant from the fictional Mayfield High Wally attended. A bound collection of Leave It to Beaver scripts.
There's something about nostalgia.
Even a box of cornflakes with Tony and Jerry Mathers, who played the Beaver, all grown up.
This is my very first car that I ever had.
And in his driveway sits a sleek example of the benefits Wally Cleaver still provides Tony Dow. His first car, a 1961 Corvair he bought with Leave It to Beaver money, only to sell 4 years later.
You're sure this was it?
I'm sure. Oh, yeah. It's got the same license plate.
Before the guy who bought it died a few years ago, he decided to leave it to Tony, returning the car, and with it a reminder that perspective is the foundation of making peace with pain.
So anyway, pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of the rewards of being who you are. They knew where to find you.
Yeah. You're giving me all this positive stuff that I should be thinking about instead of all the dumb stuff I think about.
And there you have Tony Dow passed at, I think it was 77 or 78, was it?
I don't remember.
So what a shame.
But thank you to CBS again.
But, the other thing I want to show you, I want to go back to that for a second. I'm going to probably freeze it here. I don't want to freeze the
don't.
system up, but I'm going to run this back just a hair. I want to show you the inside of this this engine. This was a very...
This is my very first car that I ever had.
And in his driveway sits a sleek example of the benefits Wally Cleaver still provides Tony Dow. His first car, a 1961 Corvair he bought with Leave It to Beaver money, only to sell 4 years later.
You're sure this was it?
I'm sure. Oh, yeah. It's got the same license plate.
Before the guy who bought it died a few years ago, he decided to leave it to...
There it was. Bump that again. If you look inside of this engine compartment, very few people that, unless you're my age and did a lot of work on these cars, know what was actually in this thing. This was this engine was a really cool little beast. It was a 6-cylinder. On this thing here, I think this one's only got a one barrel on it. By the looks of it, let me look a little closer there. It's got a 1-barrel carburetor on it. They actually used to make these so that this was the intake on this thing. This intake went on both sides of this engine. I don't know if you can see my mouse here or not. This intake went to both sides of the engine. And you could put different carburetors on this. And you could put, if you got an adjusted manifold, you could actually put two 2-barrel or two 4-barrel carburetors on this. And I had two 2s on it. And I wanted two 4s. I was going to buy two Ollie 4s for it when I wrecked it. And then you could also put this little power pack on top of it that was an air ram where you could, it would take and you could supercharge the engine. That was a unique little motor. And hardly anybody that hasn't worked on this or hasn't seen one of these would hardly know that. But I love that car. I was, my mom actually owned mine, and I just absolutely love that car. And of course, then the year after I wrecked mine, Ralph Nader came out with Unsafe at Any Speed, and didn't do a whole lot for it. But that's kind of unique. What do you guys think? I see
That
her.
almost looks like a turbocharger sitting there.
There, what that may be. Can't really see that well. If that's a turbocharger, that's what I was talking about. You could buy that little package to fit on there. At that time they think they called it an air ram. What it would do is give you all the air you needed for the combustion. That's pretty cool. But yeah, that's neat. I can go back to the show now. There, how about that?
Not only did we, hello there. Not only did we lose him, but we lost Michelle Nichols.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna take and do. I got a clip on her, so let's. We can do that next. So hang loose a minute. We'll be right back. Here's one on Michelle Nichols.
Security sweeps of all decks are negative, Mr. Spock.
Before Nichelle Nichols broke barriers on board the USS Enterprise as Lieutenant Uhura, she was dancing and singing her way across the stages of New York City and Chicago, the city close to where she grew up, Robbins, Illinois. In 1967, she released a cover of the Joe McCoy classic, Why Don't You Do Right, on Epic Records.
Get out of here, Daddy. Get me some money, too.
But it was playing Star Trek's Lieutenant Uhura where she really found fame. It was a groundbreaking role for an African-American woman in 1966, widely considered one of the first times a woman of color was not portraying a servant on TV. Uhura was the chief communications officer and fourth in command on board the Enterprise.
I didn't find out that it was fourth in command till the second season. Nobody told me.
Nichols actually thought about leaving after the first season. The show's creator, Gene Roddenberry, begged her to stay. But it was an influential fan that finally convinced her, Martin Luther King.
He said, you can't.
Oh.
Don't you know who you are? To our movement, to everyone you are there in the 23rd century. You've created a role that has such dignity and everything. It's powerful. You cannot leave.
Another landmark for the show during the turbulent 60s, the first scripted interracial kiss on national television in 1968.
We had heard rumors that the southern stations, some southern stations might cut it down.
It changed television forever, and it also changed the way people looked at one another. If two of their favorite actors can battle through it and come through it on top, why can't everybody?
The show ended in 1969, but endured for years in syndication and at conventions attended by devoted Trekkies. In 1994, Nichols published her autobiography, Beyond Uhura, Star Trek, and Other Memories. Nichols also starred in several Trek movies and even worked with NASA to increase diversity in the space program.
I had the privilege of recruiting the first women and minority astronauts for the Space Shuttle program.
Nichols' enduring beauty, her strength of character, her commitment to human rights will always inspire.
And CNN media analyst and former New York Times media reporter Bill Carter joins me now. Bill, there is just an outpouring of remembrance today on social media, just beautiful reflections on her life. Bernice King, Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter, said, representation matters, excellence and representation matters even more. Thank you, hashtag Nichelle Nichols. Rest well, ancestor. I love that Martin Luther King Jr. story and how he made her realize how significant she was to Black children and young women because of her TV role, saying, you got to stay in that role, it's so important. But it was not an easy door for her to open, was it?
At the time, it was pretty extraordinary. I mean, the television had not had a Black character anywhere like this. This was before Diane Carroll did her show, and that was controversial. They didn't really let her be a real character. This was a real powerful, intelligent, commanding person. Now, they said it in the 23rd century, which was kind of a commentary on what was happening in America at the time. This was the civil rights era, and they were fighting for the basic rights to ride a bus and things like that, and drink at a water fountain. And the show was basically saying, we're going to show what it could be in the future, what it could be for the racial equality in the future. And so they found an actress who was so convincing as a person of intelligence and authority that they pulled it off so well. I remember as a kid being in high school and watching the show with friends of mine, and nobody reacting at all to the fact that it was a black character. Nobody actually reacting at all. That was extraordinary at the time, and it's a testament to the show for doing it, but especially to the actress for pulling it off.
It certainly is. And another recollection from Whoopi Goldberg, who said Star Trek was the first time she saw a black woman on screen who wasn't playing a maid, and that it was so inspiring to her. I mean, there are so many stories like that.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you have to remember, this was actually in the mid-'60s, and, everything that we think of now, and there are conflicts now still, which is extraordinary, but at the time everything was charged, extremely charged, and you had the idea that you would have a black character in this kind of role was groundbreaking, really, truly groundbreaking. And yet it was done in a way that I think was brilliant, because it's set in the future, folks. What are you going to say about it? How is this, raising hackles in 1966 when it's supposed to be in the 23rd century? So they managed to do it, and Star Trek was great for that. They explored themes like that because they were dealing with the future. But this was really an amazing approach. And I have to say, she was not an actress anyone knew, but boy, was she well cast. She just utterly was convincing. Beautiful woman, no question, but also she just carried authority. And that was, what was essential to the part.
I'm going to talk about that famous kiss. That kiss between Uhura and Captain Kirk was also groundbreaking, certainly not something the mass audience was expecting. Do you recall the reaction to that at the time?
It was interesting. There was not a giant reaction to this. Later on, when Star Trek became a cult hit in syndication, it was talked about enormously, this breakthrough moment. At the time, again, I felt like everyone who was watching the show at that point, and it wasn't a big hit at the time, already accepted the fact that this is not a contemporary situation. So the idea that there would be an interracial kiss did not blow everyone away, except that they stopped to think about it. And again, they did it in such a very smart way. They were concerned about the South. The stations in the South would pull television stations for anything they thought was promoting, racial equality in those days, extraordinary as that sounds. But they thought we better film the kiss, and then we'll have another, scene, the same scene, reshot, where they don't actually kiss, because the aliens were forcing them to kiss. And the two actors, according to both of their stories, just made it impossible. That when they reshot the scenes, they were unusable. So they had to show the scene with the kiss, and they expected all this blowback, which they didn't get. The station in the South ran the show, and it didn't get the kind of blowback anyone expected, because, again, I felt like they were telling people, you know what, you may be prejudiced today, you may think you hate black people today, but you know what, that's going to be passé at some point. It's going to be, in the past. Everyone's going to get past this.
Yeah, she had an incredible life. She also volunteered for NASA to recruit minority and female candidates for the space agency. Just did so much, and we honor her tonight on this show. Bill Carter, thank you for your remembrance of her incredible life.
And thank you to CNN for that clip and that beautiful tribute. It just seems like I don't know, it just seems like my childhood is just drifting away one person at a time. I don't know how you guys feel. I still, in the mornings, I watch Leave It to Beaver every once in a while. I still watch a lot of Star Trek stuff here and there when I catch it on. If it's coming on after whatever I'm already watching I'll at least watch a few minutes of it. It just seems like a shame that this is all drifting away. Hopefully better's coming. hopefully that we won't have anything really to worry about in the future, but you never know. I do have a little bit of breaking NFL news I want to cover. Erik said something about this a little bit ago, but I think I just saw a thing that Erik actually posted that said that the decision on Deshaun Watson is coming down tomorrow for you Browns fans or us Brown fans.
And he's not. The NFLPA is not appealing it, which makes me wonder how many games it's gonna be.
I'm kind of thinking it's not going to be very many.
I also saw that he's gonna have to pay like $9 million in fines. But they're saying that the NFL would turn that around and give it to battered women's shelters, which that makes sense.
Yeah, well, anything to get this over with.
I don't think. I hope
don't
it's
think
not going to be indefinite.
I don't think it's going to be. He would have never come out and said what he did as far as not fighting it. Had that been indefinite. 4, 5, 6 games, maybe 8. He'll be here the last part of the season.
I've seen between 4 and 8, and that's what the team. I saw the report earlier. The team is saying the same thing.
So
between 4 and 8.
Stay tuned tomorrow. We'll know then. All right, we gotta clean this up. Any more?
Clean it up.
Any more thoughts on this? Any of the deaths here lately? I didn't ask any of you guys that. Any thoughts on Ahura or Tony Dow's death? Besides that cool car.
Nope.
Didn't like that car, Keith?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
The Corsair is like a legend, man. You know? The Corsair is like a legend. No kidding, like it.
Unsafe at any speed, according to Ralph Nader.
Who cares about Ralph?
I had the one of mine going 110 a time or two, or 10, or 20. I used to make the half-hour trip from over at the Hilton over in Fairlawn to the skating rink. I used to make that in 15 minutes, and it was a half-hour trip. 18 minutes, and it was a half-hour trip at normal speeds. Not bragging or anything.
My dad used to tell a story. It wasn't a Corsair, but he was test driving a Packard.
It's a Corvair, not Corsair.
And,
Corsair's an airplane.
Yeah, but he was okay. You're right. Sorry. Anyhow, he was test driving a Packard, and he's always put different size tires on the ones he had before, and he accidentally ditched this one. He was test driving it, so they straightened it up, got it washed, and took it.
You clipped.
Oops, he's muted.
You muted yourself. There you go.
I muted myself?
Yeah,
let me
I guess so.
What was the last word?
I was using the space bar. Hang on.
Nothing like live TV.
There's the button. Anyhow.
Oh, you're good now.
Yeah, nothing like it. That's what my wife says. Anyhow, he was test driving a Packard. And he's always put oversized tires on the ones he had in the past. And he went around the corner and ditched this thing. And they got it right, put back up on his wheels, washed it, and took it back to the dealer. He said, "No, I don't want it."
Not quite. All right.
You talk about Packards. I hear the story that my dad had. He apparently had 2 Packards that were like sitting. They used to live on my grandparents' property. My parents did I guess when I was just a baby. Well, my grandpa kept getting on him about, you got to do something with them things. You got to do something with them things. They can't just be sitting around. So I guess my dad just junked them out and whatever. Well, of course, years later, knowing what people used to do with those Packards as far as turning them into street rods and whatever, it was one of those things he could kick himself for.
One of the forklift drivers that I used to work with, his dad owned a DeSoto franchise, or a DeSoto dealership, and he had a 7-bay garage on his property. It had complete lifts and everything. For the old man had built that, and I don't know if Ty's still around or not. I don't think he is. He lived out in Brimfield or Streetsboro. And I went over to his retirement party, and I could not believe that property. Big old barn out in the middle of the woods. His house was must have been at that time $500,000 or more. And you'd walk in the back, and he had like 17 DeSotos in that thing. He had one that was at that was the only one to ever run at the Indianapolis 500 was a pace car. That's amazing vehicles. We'll have to talk about that further sometime. I think we need to do some bloopers to cheer this up, and then we're going to rock and roll it out of here. You guys ready for that?
Yep.
The reason that I decided on this set of bloopers was, number one, they're from 1980. And number two, this actually shows you how much things have changed in 80, 90, 2000, 40 years. So take a grand gander at this and watch the hairdos, watch the people that are on there. You might even know a few of them. So we'll be back on the other side of this. You're watching the Radioactive Show on the Crooked River.
Square by virtue of a trip into the distant past. And bad news for plastic money users. There is a new money incentive to buy a new car. We'll have that, those, and Stu's reviews, and Don, Howard, Dorothy, and much more next on 5.
Look at Dorothy full-time over there.
First in Ohio, TV5 Eyewitness News with the Eyewitness News team.
Just watching the game tonight, my stomach goes in knots, just like yours and everybody else's. Let's see how others are celebrating in the world of sports. Here's Jim Bunn live at the Stadium Club.
Okay, we've also got somebody back here tonight, somebody whose job it is to watch Lenny Barker. His name is Joe Fetzer. Joe, you were charting him tonight. I believe we got the chart here, and you were charting him with the radar gun. I guess you've never done anything like this before, seen anything like it.
Well, no, I haven't. I've been doing it for about a little over a year, but this was amazing. And at the end of the fourth inning, I told people he would do it, and they thought I was nuts. But I guess they figured that shit out. Oh.
Okay, well, we're all having a good time here at the Stadium Club. Back to you.
A perfect ball game and an imperfect newscast. Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
That's when Reagan has scheduled a press conference, the third during his pregnancy. Presidency, that is.
I want you to come out of the moonlight a little bit, okay? Moonlight? Right.
Correspondent Dan Brewster is standing by with a live report from the White House on the president's schedule today. Dan?
Hello. Why do they keep hanging up? Do you not hear anything in IFB?
A few minutes.
Memorial Day traditionally brings drivers out on the road in record numbers, and that can mean a record number of accidents. The death toll seems to be down, though, this year, along with the traffic. High gas prices seem to be keeping people at home. Must have been somebody from management working on the holiday.
And correspondent Dan Brewster is ready now with that live report from the White House on the president's schedule today. Dan?
Just
seen, is it true? Is it all happening at the zoo?
I'm not sure if anything's happening at the zoo. As soon as we get here, of course, everybody goes inside. But I always like kind of being at the zoo at this time of the night anyway. The animals are. Oh, there's someone behind me. Oh, you can hardly see the bears. They're going down. Anyway, they're very hungry tonight, so they're out and they're kind of stalking back and forth. But we do have a few animals out. I went over to look at the giraffes. We had that new giraffe born just a week ago, and he's kind of poking his head out, but we couldn't get a very good shot of him. So we have the very hungry bears behind me tonight, of course.
Standing by at his home live with Instant Eye is Rabbi Bradley Bliefeld of the Baltimore Hebrew congregation with his family. And now they will light the first light of Hanukkah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Praised are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has kept us in life, sustained us, and permitted us to reach this joyous occasion.
Then
Amen.
his brother's going to start acting on it.
Rabbi Bliefeld, this is Richard Scher, and we'd like you to explain the significance of Hanukkah, if you would.
This begins our 8-night festival of religious freedom. We commemorate the time over 2,000 years ago when a small group of Jews fought for their religious freedom against the Assyrians. This holiday commemorates that fight for freedom, and indeed has a special meaning this year, not only because my congregation is celebrating its 150th year in a festival of rededication, but because we of the Jewish community share in the concern for the hostages being held in Iran, for they too are suffering under a contemporary form of religious tyranny.
Well, we certainly hope that all of those prayers are answered, and may all of us here wish you and all of your family a very happy holiday, Rabbi.
Our brother died for us, so you're asking about retaliation. We're going to do whatever he would want us to do for him, because he gave his life for us, and that's the most any man could give for anybody. And we all loved him, and you sons are dead motherfuckers.
Live from the Radel Funeral Home, I'm Fred Wymore, Eyewitness 12 on the scene.
All of that shortly, but first, the morning news with Jess Marlowe, who's filling in for Floyd Calburn. Good morning, Jess.
Good morning, James. Thank you. Growing indications this morning that the Camp David Middle East Summit has reached the make or break stage.
You can't do it when you're sitting on it. I learned that from Gene Shalit.
Tucson police say James Mowell, a local 19-year-old, was shot and killed early this morning after apparently trying to break into an East Side home. Mr. and Mrs. Paul Miller say they fired a warning shot and then fired a second time when Mowell started to come in their front door.
All right! Don't you ever talk to me like that again. 5, 4. If you want me to go to network, take you with me. 5, 4, 3. That's not...
That's the one I wanted.
That was certainly a mix of bloopers there. I think that was Channel 5, if it looked.
A lot of that was.
Yeah.
There was some 3 stuff on there too. Especially, I thought that big guy and the cussing was, that was probably the best part of the bloopers. Although that little kid there at Hanukkah, kind of, would you have put up with that, Dale?
I could always get him back.
Yeah, it's probably been like that all their lives now. All right. Well, I got 20 after 9. We got like almost 2 hours in the cans. Well, not in the can, but yeah, whatever. I think that we probably can wrap this up for this evening. Hope you all had a good time with us tonight. Hope you decide to tell your friends and join us as my dog hacks up a...
We see that, Keith.
Hacks up a loogie.
There's your Crown Royal Peach there.
Hope y'all had a good time. We'll be back next week if you're lucky, even if you're not. It's been a blast. And I'll have to talk to you, Keith. I got a couple things I need to ask you about a boot. So,
that's the boot.
Yeah, I had a club meeting, officers meeting today. I got a couple of questions. Some stuff came up from there. We'll talk. Don't worry about it. Anyway, that about wraps us for tonight. Y'all have a great week. Remember, we got all kinds of stuff coming up this week. Audio or show-wise, we got World According to Elmer up next Tuesday. And that'll be from 7 to 8 with Jerry Sorensen. And Thursday, we have Buckeye Time. 7 to 8, or 6:50 to 8 o'clock. Then Saturday, we got the World Recorder. We got the Four Guys on Sports. Sunday at 11, we got Beth and the Lure Hunters, Tales of the Lure Hunters. Did a good one today. We talked about the Pukwudgie, and had a pretty good show about that. So.
But quick note for Thursday, we have a special guest. Last time I was in communication with him, he is going to be on, but I don't want to say who it is yet because if he cancels, I don't want to get the hopes up. So we should have a special guest on Thursday. It'll be sports, but other than that, that's all I will say.
And it will, we'll have a lot to talk about that with that show, probably because of the Deshaun Watson stuff.
Mm-hmm. And other stuff going on with the Browns and Guardians. So we have that to look forward to. But other than that, have a good night.
Yep. Y'all have a great evening. We'll talk again. See ya next week, 7-3.
Thanks everybody for coming in.
And thanks everybody for coming.
7-3.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of Radio Active by the Crooked River Radio Network. See you again soon.
Dale, drive careful.
Yeah, keep it between the ditches.